everyone, it's Holly. Welcome back to my channel. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers. It honestly is so cool. That's such a cool number. I absolutely love this channel and I love this like little community that we've got going on. So a little while ago, I said when we hit 3,000 subscribers, I would do a Q&A. And that actually happened a lot quicker than I thought it would. I'm not gonna lie. I just didn't anticipate the next 1,000 to come so quickly, but it did. So that's why we're here. Also, had lots of new people join the Patreon. And for my second month in a row, I'm on over 50 patrons. I'm so excited. So thank you. Wherever you support me, just know that it's really cool. And it's really amazing that you're playing a part in it. So thank you. In regards to the Q&A, when I put out the original post, I did have quite a few questions and I just wanted to make sure that I could answer all the questions in good enough detail because some people had a couple of questions and I just wanted to make sure that I could answer everyone. So but also if you have any questions that I haven't answered, then on this video feel free to comment hey, can I check this with you, or what's your favorite this, or that's totally fine. But also if you did ever want to get to know me a little bit more, I do stream over on Twitch 3 to 4 times a week. I'm actually a full-time streamer, so if you wanted to come over there and hang out, that'd be really cool. And it's a nice vibe over there. It's a really safe, inclusive space. So yes. So I'm gonna do the Patreon questions first, and then I'm gonna do the YouTube questions and the community post questions. Why am I nervous? Okay, so starting with Patreon, I think this is how I'm pronouncing this person's name, Aditya. Aditya asks, what are your favorite genres of anime? This is such a good question because if this was 3 years ago, magical girls and slice of life, and that's not wrong. I'm really enjoying kind of nitty gritty shows that don't sort of skirt around important topics and important issues and can be a bit graphic. I mean, Attack on Titan has become my favorite anime of all time. Oh, actually, speaking of Attack on Titan, but it's become my favorite anime of all time. So, I'm really loving. I really like it when a slice of life show has adult themes because I'm 27, so I feel like I can relate to it a lot more. And I always mention this in every slice of life show that I react to. As a 27-year-old woman who has been with someone for over 10 years, I like seeing the more adult themes because I relate to that the most. I can't nowadays relate so much to 13 to 14-year-olds in anime, if that makes sense. Obviously it depends on the show, but yeah. And I really, above everything though, I really like any genre that gives me an emotional response. I'm a really emotional person, but I think seinen probably does that for me the most. But yeah, I hope I answered your question properly. Paul on Patreon, hi Paul, asks, what was your first ever interaction with anime and how have your anime tastes changed since then? Oh my gosh, well, I kind of mentioned it in the previous question, but my first experience with anime was probably very similar to everyone else's. Growing up, I watched Pokemon, I watched a little bit of Digimon, I also watched, I think it was called Dinosaur King or something, and that was anime. I watched Yu-Gi-Oh, but those shows give me more Saturday morning Nickelodeon cartoon vibes, even though they are anime, but I hope you know what I mean. So I'm sitting in my maths class. I'm 12, okay? And I look over and there's a girl across on another desk who is reading Cardcaptor Sakura. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've never seen that before. Now at the time, I was really obsessed with the Winx Club, and the Winx Club is a magical girl cartoon. It's just about girls who turn into fairies and they have their own individual powers and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so I reach over and I see the art on this book and I just said to her, I was like, oh my God, what is that? That looks so cool. It was some random volume. I can't even remember. It's been a long time since I watched or read anything Cardcaptor Sakura. I couldn't even tell you the basics of it because it's been so long. I am dyspraxic. I'm on the ADHD spectrum and I have always really struggled with text on just in black and white. I just can't focus properly, so I've always struggled to read. However, I wish there was a way that I could read a story that like has pictures, like a kid's storybook, but like not one that's colored in, just like kind of like a book. And anyway, so when I got this Card Captor Sakura book, my oldest brother is like 9 years older than me. Like he was at like a totally different stage in his life to what I was. But him and my sister-in-law were just like, have you seen Lucky Star? We think you'd really, really enjoy it. So actually, my first proper experience with anime was Lucky Star. If you haven't seen Lucky Star, I actually super recommend it. Like even now, it's a little bit older now. But if you enjoy something like Bocchi the Rock, or if you enjoy like a small group of friends that all have different dynamics, I think you would really enjoy Lucky Star because it's such a fun show. And also, if you're not someone that enjoys subbed, the dub is really good. Like I watched the dub, I really enjoyed it. It was very, very good. Okay, so now going over to the YouTube questions. Jack asks, and says, glad to see the channel growing quickly. Been around since the very first episode of Kaguya. Oh my gosh. How many of you are here from like episode 1 of Kaguya? Firstly, how are you? I am so good. Thank you so much for asking. I have found a lot of really good like balance in my life. I'm a full-time content creator. Yeah, I'm now in a really, really good rhythm. But how are you if you watch this video? I'm always very curious about people's past jobs and education. So what sorts of jobs have you worked, and or what did you study at uni if you attended? Oh, okay, this is a really good question. So I have worked quite a few different jobs, some of them longer than others. So I have been like a sales support person. I have also been an underwriter where I basically go through affordability to see if people can afford things. And I've also been a compliance officer. So I have investigated, you know, affordability complaints and given out compensation and things like that, and also dealt with fraud and everything. So that was really, really cool. But apart from that, I have worked in a chemist or like a pharmacy. I've been like the person kind of helping give like prescriptions to people. I've also worked retail. I haven't worked retail in a very, very, very long time. Like I have not worked retail in maybe like 8 years. But I've had like quite a few different jobs, and I feel like I have had lots of good experience from each job. I didn't enjoy every single job that I've had because I had some like smaller jobs as well, especially when I was a bit younger. But yeah. I also did not attend university. I've never been very academic. The thought of uni at the time was like paralyzing to me because at the time I was struggling really, really badly with anxiety. I also was fresh in a new relationship when we had to start deciding all that kind of stuff. Same person I'm with now, by the way. Uni was just something that I didn't end up doing. School, then went to like college, and then I just started working straight away because I also just couldn't really decide what I wanted to do. I just know that I would have started something and then wanted to do something else. So yeah. Also, any plans to watch Oshinoko? I'm sure it's on your radar by now. It is. Okay, I have been asked to react to it so many times, and I am really in the thick of it with other shows at the minute. I went to like film my first reaction to it the other day because sometimes I watch shows and I just like bank the content and then I edit it at a later date. But I didn't realize that the first episode is like it's like a film, so I just can't fit it in at the minute, but I'm hoping to maybe pick it up once it's finished airing. I know it won't have the same like hype and growth, but like I'm not really bothered about that. But yeah, so I think I will watch it. Okay, so the next question comes from, I never know whether to pronounce this Zenith or Zenith. Hi Holly, I was wondering if you were going to start reacting to Skip and Loafer. It's my favorite romance anime airing at the moment. By the way, I simply adore your reactions. Been following your channel ever since you started reacting to Attack on Titan. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. That's such a nice comment. Oh my goodness, I have been told about Skip and Loafer so many times. Again, it's just because I'm already committing to so much. I just don't know if I can fit it in at the minute, but maybe in future, because I have been recommended it so many times, like so many times. So I think I need to give in, you know, like Skip and Loafer and Oshinoko, I just need to give in. But thank you for your comment. Honestly, that's really, really sweet. And it's really nice that you've been here since Attack on Titan, because I really love that show. Tony asks, which is your favorite opening and ending? Big hi from Peru. Love you, Holly. Oh my gosh, thank you. Love ya. Okay, so, oh my god, it's so difficult because I feel like I have so many. It's probably the intro to Lucky Star, but also that's mainly based on like nostalgia, I think, because it taps into my nostalgia brain. But I would also say the first ever intro to Attack on Titan. For an ending, oh my god, from Attack on Titan. It's really, really hard because I really enjoy lots of intros and endings. Like, I really loved the Komi Can't Communicate season 1 intro. That was such a bop. Okay, Yamamoto, who comments on so many of my videos, thank you so much, I really appreciate it, has asked a couple of questions. So the first question is, anime locations you want to visit? I would be happy to just go to Japan. Like, I really, really, really want to go to Tokyo. I really want to go to Shibuya. Apart from that, though, I really want to go to the beach place that they went to in Bochi the Rock. I can't remember what it's called. Also, I don't think this counts, but I would really love to go to the place in Japan where there's like a giant wall and there is a statue of Eren, Mikasa, and Armin as kids. I would really, really, really love to go see that. Although that's kind of, I don't know if that counts. And I think we might go for our honeymoon when, like, after we get married. So we might do that, but it just depends on finances and time off and everything. But yeah, I'd love to just go in general. Oh, favorite songs, animation genre, music genre, etc. I am a pop girly. I will say this right now. I'm a pop princess. I love Ariana Grande, Taylor Swift, Doja Cat. I also love Megan Thee Stallion. I kind of listen to what's in the charts. I also love an artist called Ledley. She's like a smaller artist, but like, oh my god, she's amazing. An animation genre, I sort of just answered it, but I've enjoyed a lot of intros and outros. Impressions of anime songs before Sister Holly was born. Sayonara of Mary McGregor. Oh, from Sayonara Galaxy Express, because I don't think I'll be able to react right this second, but I will have a listen and I will put in the comments what I think of them. Lucas, hello. Hey Holly, I wanted to ask, what do you look forwards to most in a story? Characters, plot, animation. I think it would be story and characters that make sense. But I would say I really enjoy like big plot twists. Like, I really love shows where you think one thing for a certain amount of time and there'll just be some small bit of information that just changes up the whole thing. Animation, you know, it doesn't have to be the best of the best for me. I'm like happy to watch shows from like many, many, many years ago when they weren't all like polished and had 3D elements and everything. I also like misunderstood characters, like characters that have an underlying anger or something that kind of makes them very relatable, because I feel like I can really get inside their heads a little bit when it's like that. Anchor asks and says, congrats Holly, the fast increase in subs just shows how good the content you make is. I love it for sure. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to ask you, suppose there is a manga or anime you read that has some scenes or incidents you don't like. How do you deal with it? I, for one, literally suffer when I read or see something on anime I don't like. I try to forget it and fail to do so. It really exists in my head as trauma. I can completely understand that. I would say that's something that's like really, really hard to overcome. There have been some shows where I've watched things and I'm just like, oh, like that doesn't feel very good. I would say my biggest advice would be, before you go into any show, and I say this to everyone, before you go into any show, whether it's anime, live action, just check what the trigger warnings are. And if you don't know what a trigger warning is, it's basically a way of marking media with themes that might be upsetting. So for example, trigger warning abuse, trigger warning neglect, or if you have a friend that has maybe watched something that you want to watch, you can ask them. I'm so sorry that like you have to deal with that, because it sucks, but I hope it doesn't stop you from enjoying anime and manga. You can like take steps beforehand to like make sure that doesn't happen as regularly. Irono? Is that how I say that? I'm so sorry. I probably butchered that. Congrats, Holly. It's well deserved. Thank you. I guess my question would be any anime or fictional characters in general that you find to be particularly relatable. This is such a good question. Who I think I am most like is probably Akane from My Love Story with Yamada-kun, because I have literally lived the life that she lives in the show. Not 100%, like with ages and stuff like that, but I can deeply relate the whole meeting your partner in a guild. You've got like Labrador energy girlfriend and not Labrador energy boyfriend. I can really relate to that. And she's quite anxious. She's a klutz, overthinks things. She gets flustered. And so I can relate to that. But I would also say that I do also relate to Marin from My Dress Up Darling. I enjoy smut and she enjoys smut. And I just feel like I have the same like fan service brain rot that she does. And I wouldn't say I'm quite as far in as her, but like I love fan service. I think it's like so fun and silly, and so I think I can relate to her a lot as well. Icy Rock asks, what's your favorite anime to react to and why? What my favorite anime has been that I've watched and like I've enjoyed the reaction process. Probably My Dress Up Darling, and I think My Love Story with Yamada-kun, because I just really love those shows. But My Dress Up Darling for sure, because I also did like a premiere every Saturday, so like people could come and watch with me. Start doing that with Arcane potentially, we will see. Tiny, hello. If you had to live in one of the anime worlds you have reacted to, which would it be and why? I mean, a lot of the shows I watch are like just set in like Japan. Oh my god, no, I know exactly the one. I would live in Tokyo, but the Tokyo that's in Bubble. If you haven't seen the film Bubble, it's kind of like a retelling of The Little Mermaid, but it's really, really, really cool. And it's like kind of not zero gravity, but you can like flow and the gravity changes in different places. There's a lot of like parkour that goes on. I just think it would be fun to live there because I would just jump and bounce off of everything and, you know, try and find somewhere to live. But I think I would just have so much fun. I'd just be running about all the time. Everyone, that is the end of my Q&A. I'm so glad I've decided to film this now and not wait for more questions, because I knew I'd ramble on. I knew that would happen. I really appreciate everyone that took the time to ask me some questions. And like I said, if you did have any burning questions still, feel free to comment them and I'll reply as best as I can. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for 3,000 subscribers, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye.